Alright, so I got a lot of questions on grips. Apparently there's a lot of people with Tauruses, and I love Taurus revolvers, so I get it. Wanting the bigger grip like I have on mine, J-frame grips will work. This is J-frame grip, but I had to basically like glass bed it around through here. They don't fit perfect. When you put it in there, you can see the right here, I had to fill it in with epoxy, basically glass bed it. There's something else you'll see that I do, is that I put that in there on this little Taurus, because these little 357 Magnums, they definitely recoil pretty good. And what I did is that goes inside the frame there, and then I just filed it flat. I had to cut a groove in it so that when the hammer cocks, it can go down in that. And what that does is, I'm bad for when they loosen up over tightening this screw, and it will blow through on these plastic type grips. It won't on this one ever again. But that's me. Heavy recoiling guns, I like to do that. On this Bulldog, you can see it better where I had to build it up. This is really, really close to a J-frame. The Taurus is really close to a J-frame, but you do have to, basically, I call it like glass bedding the grip to get it snug, because if there's any play or, in this, these will crack. I mean, they're just a polymer plastic. And I had to, I believe on the Taurus and on this one, drill the hole out for this little roll pin, because it's in a different place on both of them. On this one, and that's the reason why I bobbed the hammer, I didn't care, but you cannot cock with the screw in it. You cannot cock the hammer back far enough. See, it goes right through the screw hole on the J-frame grips. But under double action, it doesn't come back as far, so it works fine. This is just double action only. And you can see there, same thing. I put this in there, filed it flat. This is just made out of epoxy too, And like I said, that keeps the screw, if you're like me and tend to over tighten them, from pulling through, because like I said, it will. Here you can see how I bedded it, and now they fit tight. I mean, there's absolutely no play at all in these grips. And when that's tightened down, I mean, that grip is solid. And I have put some really hot loads through this 44 Special. This grip is not cracked. This grip is not cracked. This grip's at least 8 years old, probably. I've been carrying this, carried this little Taurus. I call it a J-frame because J-frame grips fit it, J-frame holsters fit it. I mean, it's just, I call any gun company that makes a J-frame size snubby a J-frame. It's just, to me, it's just how I identify the frame size. This is a slightly bigger frame than a J-frame, but this grip part here is super close to a J-frame size. And I will say though, on this, that this is thinner, so I actually had to just lightly sand this down, the grip, lay it flat, sand it down just slightly so that it would fit all the way around. And when I put grips on like this, I mean, that's how tight of a fit I got them with that epoxy that I used for, basically to glass bed it. When you put these grips on and push them on, they are a super tight fit. So hopefully that answers your questions, but them are both J-frame Smith & Wesson grips from Sidney L. Ryan on a 44 Bulldog, and on a Taurus, I believe this is a 605. I just call it a little J-frame, but I mean, I've got a J-frame in the gun safe, and other than the, you know, the design of the barrel a little bit, I mean, it's pretty much the exact same gun as far as size, weight, and everything else. So, also got a little Smith & Wesson Airlight. And that was the other thing I was going to say in the last video, that even though these both have the same exact grip and the other two have the same exact grip as these, just different scrimshaw designs on them, you still have to, even if I switch guns, I still have to shoot and practice with it, because this one with hot loads recoils way more than this one does. The air weight or Airlight or air weight with 38, just standard 38 special, recoils quite a bit compared to this 357 Magnum with just a medium power defense load in it. A regular 38 special feels like it has as much recoil as just a moderate 357 defensive load. And if I put plus P's in the air weight, I mean, it's, like I said, you got to practice, because the recoil between this one and this one are different. I like carrying these just because they're inexpensive guns. They're both reliable. If something was to happen, I'm not out expensive Smith & Wesson. I'm out a Taurus or a Charter Arms. Because, you know, in a self-defense situation, they're taking whatever one you used, and hopefully you get it back. But it's easier to lose something like this or this than it is a Smith & Wesson or a Colt. I got a Detective Special. It's just easier to swallow losing one of these over a Colt Detective Special or a Smith & Wesson J-frame or an Airweight J-frame, something like that. So anyway, I hope that answered your questions. You know, I always talk about Sidney L. Ryan grips and that, and even on my J-frames, because these are polymer, on my Smith & Wessons, I epoxy them up like I did this one. This is how tight I got these. You got to sit here and, I mean, it's snug, but that's why they don't break, is because it's such a snug fit. There's no play in it. But I mean, even on the J-frames, granted it's a lot less of a gap than this, but I basically glass bed them with epoxy. I use the JB Weld steel reinforced epoxy, and at least on this one I did. On this one, I think I don't remember what epoxy I used, but I found that the steel reinforced epoxy with the 5-minute set time really works good. I mean, this gun, I've shot buffalo bore loads through it, and I thought for sure that there was a possibility of cracking these. But like I said, such a tight fit, and with that polymer in there, they just don't crack. The very first set I got, they fit good, but they just weren't super tight. This was years and years and years ago, and I put them on, I don't remember what it was. It was, they weren't J-frame grips. It was on one of my 44 mags that I had. And shooting some really hot 44 mag loads, it did break the back of this out. And being into gunsmithing and that, I decided to try and repair it and glass bed it. And I epoxied it back together, did the glass bedding on it, and it never broke again. And I still actually have that set of grips somewhere in the gun safe. I've probably over the years ordered at least 6, if not 8 to 10 pair of grips from Sidney Ryan, and I've had him engrave them, or scrimshaw they call it, I just like fancy grips. Um, I will do a video soon on holsters, what I prefer, what I think. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I am not an expert. I am not certified. I'm not a trainer or nothing else. This is just, I've carried every day since 2002. I have carried a gun every single day. I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is put my gun on. When I go to bed, I lay it next to my head on the end table. First thing I do when I get up the next morning is I put my gun on, whether I'm working or not, whether I'm going anywhere or not, because carrying a gun, if you haven't done it, it's kind of uncomfortable. You got to figure out where to put it, where to position it when you first start carrying. The weight, I found I just got used, I just wore it every single day. Then I got used to it. The holster started shaping to fit how I carry, and now I actually feel like something's wrong if I don't put it on. I'm just so used to having it. It's like walking out the door without your car keys or something. I've actually forgotten my wallet, but I've never forgotten my gun at home because I'm so used to wearing it. I wear it when I'm sitting in the recliner, when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. I just always carry. And it's not that I need it or anything else. It's just I got in the habit of doing that, so I would get used to it, get comfortable. And like I said, I've done it for so long now that it just doesn't feel right not to have one on me. But I will do a holster video sometime this week. But on these grips, that's what I do is with epoxy, I glass bedded them to make them work on non-J-frame guns. And I will recommend that if you're going to use them on a heavy recoiling gun, any type of polymer grip, doesn't matter any company. I've broken a lot of polymer grips over the years shooting heavy loaded 44 mags and stuff like that. That's just how I do any type of polymer or plastic type grip. So hope everybody has a good day. See you on the flip side.